how to quickly ruin your busk. In other words, what not to do in order to succeed in life as a musician slash busker. Also, let me know if you notice anything different about today's video. Have a guess.
Doors opening, lift going up. Doors closing.
A little bit colder than I anticipated today, which is a bit shocking because that kind of rides with the first point I'm going to talk about.
Doors opening.
Failing to plan. That's the first point I'm going to talk about in this video. You've got to be organised. It will make your busking life a whole lot easier. Now, planning comes into a lot of things. Like today, checking the weather, making sure it was a good temperature. I should have brought a jumper. It's important you prep your equipment, make sure you're all packed the night before. At least I do anyway. Make sure everything's charged. Make sure you've got all your spare batteries, spare strings. There's things like familiarising yourself with the council guidelines, deciding where you're going to play this week, making sure that you know when the train times are or where you're going to park if you're in the car. Part of your planning, your organisation. Might be watching an ARP video so you can be familiar where the good spots in a place are. It's been a hot minute since I was in Crawley. We'll have to see how it goes. I think there's this romantic notion that life as a busker or musician can be really carefree and you just rock up and, you know, hope for the best. And whilst there is an element of that going on, having a plan makes life way easier. Then you really can be carefree because you know exactly what you're doing, where you're going, what the weather's going to be, roughly. You're going to know that all your stuff is charged. You don't have to worry about if your batteries run out because you've got spares. It's just going to make life way easier, trust me. I've been putting way too many coins in to sweeten the pot lately, I think. The last few times I've been busking, I haven't put as many in. Seems to have worked. Seems to be working just great. But I know that I've done all I can to be prepared and organised to be here. And therefore, I've mitigated all the things that are within my control that could go wrong. I think, other than the fact that I didn't bring a jumper. Should have brought a jumper. Yeah?
Do you have a TikTok account?
Yeah.
Let me follow you. Let me write it down for you.
Of course.
Do you go everywhere? Or?
I do, yeah, especially around here.
Where's the have you got any hate like?
Not really.
I think I've seen you before I've definitely seen you before.
I have a YouTube channel, so that's my main thing.
Is that the same as your TikTok?
Yeah, same.
Alright, thank you very much.
Check that out.
I will.
Nice one, dude.
Sunday morning when she woke up fighting mad. Each in the morning on and on about the time I had. Then by Tuesday you could say that girl's as good as gold. And then when Thursday came around I was soft.
Of course, planning is going to look different for everybody. All different buskers, depending on what instrument you play and everything. But for me, it's like I detail kind of where I'm going to play throughout the week, at the beginning of the week. Keep tabs on the weather to make sure that that stays the same. If the weather changes, then I might change where I'm going to go. I obviously have to make time to edit these videos, so I always sort of pick 4 days that I'm going to busk for sure. And then there might be a bonus day thrown in there, depending on the weather, depending on how much I've got to do for YouTube and stuff outside of busking. And then there's all the usual stuff like making sure everything's charged, making sure I've got all my spares. This might even include like what you're going to play, your set list, planning that, making sure you know you're not just going to show up and not have a clue what to do. You know, have some songs, that you've rehearsed. Just things like that, man. It's gonna make your life way easier. Trust me.
It's crazy how lately now it just seems to come in waves. Yeah, what I thought was gonna be that death of me was my saving grace. Never knew my own man's truck didn't run like that. I should know better than to take that up so fast.
Slow start here in Crawley, but the last few times I've played here, it's always started slow. Things in Crawley always pick up at about midday, I've found. Well, from like the 4 other times I've played here. Good. Right, point number 2 we're going to talk about is being disrespectful. One way ticket to ruining your busk: disrespectful behaviour.
There was this guy. Yeah, there was this guy.
At the heart of things, busking, playing, performing music, it's an exchange of energy, right? Like, you give an energy to the passers-by, and unlike in a gig scenario, it's involuntary for the passers-by, right? They haven't opted to have that energy put to them. So if you come at that with like a disrespectful or negative energy, I just don't think it's gonna go well for you as the busker. So no matter what you're feeling and how your emotions are, whether people are responding, whether the bus is going well, whether you're getting any donations, you've got to maintain that like good level of positive energy and maintain a respect for the people that are passing by. So anyone that smiles at you, that gives you an acknowledgement, that gives you, just looks over, you've got to put forward respect and positivity. Put your emotions aside. It can be hard because like if it's not going well, like it can feel personal. Like if you're playing your music, it can feel a bit like, is it me? Is it my music that is making this bus not go well? Do people dislike it? And that can feel personal. And then if like someone does come over and tells you to turn it down or asks you if you could move, then it can feel like you want to take that personally, but you've got to maintain that level of respect, It's very important. Like today, it's very slow here in Crawley. Playing for nearly an hour and a half and I've probably made about £4. It's part of the game. I'm not going to be disrespectful because of that.
Got my first real 6 string, poured it on the 5 and played it till my fingers bled. It's the summer of '69.
I saw like a busker in Brighton Seafront the other day, and a dude came over and asked him if he would turn it down, and like the guy kind of took offense to it. He was like, why would I do that? And like I saw where he was coming from, because like I said, like your emotion can get riled up, but you've got to remember that like everyone is watching you, and if they see you put out that kind of disrespectful energy, they might sort of judge you for it, and then you're kind of tainted with that, right? So you just got to try and remain as compassionate as possible, even if you do feel like it's a bit unfair.
You say complaining when you got a job to do. You used to spend my nights at the drive-in, and that's when I saw you, yeah.
Sometimes you'll have every right to be annoyed. I'm not saying that you shouldn't get annoyed, If someone steals a load of money out of your case, you can probably get upset. That's okay. Just try and maintain that, good respect. Here in Crawley today, it's going so badly. I've played once through the set and I don't think I've made my train fare back yet. I don't know why. I've got no idea. It's really busy. Who knows, man? The last few times I've been here, I've done really well too. So maybe it's because I'm talking to a camera.
Nothing can last forever. Faster we're falling, we're stopping and stalling, running in circles again.
The third and final point we'll talk about for today, we will continue this tomorrow by the way, but the last point I want to mention today is giving up. Giving up too early. I think this happens a lot. I mean it not just in the busk itself, like when you're out busking, but like as a busker, you know, people will go out on their first few ever busks and they won't do too well, and then they give up. They decide they don't want to do it. But you've got to persist with these things. Anything creative, anything music based, YouTube, it's all the same. It's a story of just keep showing up, keep showing up, keep showing up, and you improve a little bit every time, and it gets better and better, and eventually you get there.
Seems like each time I'm with you, I lose my mind because I'm bending over backwards too late.
And then of course there's the giving up, as in the busk itself. Like today, for example, it's not going very well for me at all. I'm feeling a bit disheartened, if I'm honest, but I came here to play at least 2 sets, so I'm going to play through the 2 sets. I'm not going to give up, because you never know. Even if it's not going well donation-wise and I'm not having a whole lot of acknowledgement, you never know who's watching. You never know what's going to come out of it. You know, for all I know, I'll get a message on the way home and someone wants to book me for a show, or I've made an impression on somebody's day. I get a message saying, you made my day, or someone just comes up to me at the end. I never know, so it's important not to give up, even if it feels like it's not going very well, because it's not right now.
I can't sit back and wonder why it took so long for this to reside.
Right, I've got probably another hour here. Let's see if by not giving up things get better, or just stay the same, who knows. As long as I make my train ticket back, I think I'll be okay.
It seems that something's telling me I'm in too deep, and I'm trying to keep people in my head instead of going under, 'cause I'm in too deep, and I'm trying to keep people in my head instead of going under.
So how do you not give up? My go-to thing is just to imagine I'm like playing my dream gig. I can just imagine that I'm playing Wembley. Like the ground is a sea of people and they're all just singing the song back. I just shut my eyes and just go for it. Thank you so much, I appreciate it. Another great way to mitigate the feeling of giving up is to remember that this is also a rehearsal. Every time you're out busking, you're rehearsing, you're getting better. Stick in a few new songs that you might be attempting, especially if it's a slow day. Remember that there's multiple reasons that you come busking.
And I like to think that this coat is just for the season only.
And then you never know when it's going to turn around. Someone might hand you a note, someone might offer you a gig, someone might just come up to you and say, do you know what, you've made my day. And that's the best feeling.
How does you reach ready to go now, so that there's a monster inside my head.
It's a good way to build resilience, you know. I think like if you play a gig and people aren't responding, but you're used to it because you're a busker, it makes it so much easier. It's a good skill to learn. It helps you out as a gigging musician for sure.
And I'm an alien, surrounded by a robotic brain.
Like the question you've got to ask yourself is, are you quitting from the inside, or are you quitting or giving up on the busk because it's genuinely worth it? You need to save your voice, you've got a gig later on in that day. I think a lot of people give up earlier than they should because they feel like they should, rather than because it's actually worth giving up. Although this busk has been a big struggle. Oh well, humbling. It's good to be humbled every now and then.
They say, oh, I want about it. It doesn't mean I don't doubt it sometime. Where do we go from here? Where do I go from? 2 steps from a crossroad. 2 steps from a crossroad.
Well, that didn't go too well, but it's all good. I think it's good to document the busts that don't go so well. If you're ever feeling like discouraged because you're not getting that many donations, then know that it happens to all of us. Today's total was £32.59. The train ticket here was £12.80, so. But it's all fine, it's all okay, it's part of the game. We will continue our conversation about how to ruin a busk, or ruin your busking life. It's a funny title of the video. But we'll continue the conversation tomorrow, where I am playing an event. We're heading to London. It should be a lot of fun. So I'll see you then. See you tomorrow for me, or the next clip for you. One thing that is so cool about my life now that I do music full time and I spend majority of my days busking, is that no one day is the same. Every day is different, and a result of that is time moves more slowly. I can't even recall what I was doing this day last week because it feels so long ago. It means that my life is actually lasting longer, or at least it feels like it is. It's a cool thing. We're nearly there, by the way. One more train to get, and then we'll be at the event. I need to figure out where I'm going. 29-minute walk. That doesn't sound too bad. Although this place is apparently on a hill. It's all good, all part of the game. And whilst we're walking, let's chat about point number 4. Never changing. I think not changing or refusing to change for a busker, it's not gonna fare you well. Now, like, change could mean so many things to different people. Change could be, you know, changing the songs you play. Change could be going to different places, playing in new spots, not always going to the same one. But change could be something deeper too. This life puts you in some weird places, man. Oh, this is so funny. What am I doing here? Good times, man. Okay, so this place is pretty bonkers, and I'll explain what's going on in a minute, but I just want to finish my talk about not changing. For me, one thing I've really had to work on is changing my attitude towards all of this. And becoming more patient. I'm a sort of person that wants to get everything done. I want to do things efficiently and like have them there. And with busking, you can't really be like that. You have to be much more in the moment and going with the flow. And it took me a while to get around that mindset. There's a time and a place for like mega efficiency. If you're busking, you don't need to get there as early as possible, like, because it might not be very busy early on. You're better to hold off a little later. Be patient and wait. You might not get the spot that you were looking at getting. The day might not go as you expected, but you've got to learn to be okay with it. Even like a day like Crawley and only making 30 odd pounds. I think there was a time in my life in this journey where I would have really freaked out, but I didn't. I softened, I chilled, because I know that better things are to come. You have your low days, you have your high days. And that for me was a change of attitude. And it's an ongoing thing. You have to be doing it all the time. Right, let's play this event. This event's pretty bonkers. I'll explain what's going on. So this is like a company, a very large accounting company worldwide. In the UK today, they're having like a festival for all their employees. And there's 6 different locations throughout the UK. This is the London one, and I'm busking at it. It's bonkers, man. The company that booked me are the same company that booked me for the ultra marathons I've played, which I've made videos about. I guess like, just goes to show it's who you know. You get in with an events company and you suddenly get loads of bookings for events, and they pay very well because they're a large corporation. I've got to play 3 sets starting from 3 p.m. and then I finish at 6 p.m. So it's basically one on the hour every hour for 45 minutes, and then I get a 15-minute break. Easy work.
You getting it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, cool.
Stuffed up and everything's alright. Check my vital signs and know I'm still alive. I walk alone. 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 My shadow's only one that walks beside me. My shadow's the only thing that's beating. Someday someone out there will find me. Till then I walk alone. I walk alone and I walk alone.
That was so much fun. Thank you. I mean, I hate to step on people's mics, but thank you so much for that. I
Like
really
one of the
appreciate it.
joys of doing like street music.
Yeah, it's just
Whatever
I guess
this
to get
is.
people in, right?
Yeah.
Anish, by the way, it's nice to meet you. Ben. Nice to meet you, Ben. The evening is approaching. It's really cool vibes. I've had a few donations as well, which is cool. A few card taps. I guess I should probably talk about my 5th and final point about ruining your busking life. What a title. That's a really hilarious title for a video, but we're rolling with it. The 5th and final point is losing faith. Losing faith in it all.
Music's always something I like to do. Like I went out to America for it, and then I ended up at Sussex doing a master's degree. So I'd always do like open mic nights and stuff, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, are you at 52?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I was there for 3 years." And I would just do, "Okay, good. Well, nice to meet you." Bye.
So many rad people, eh? There's rad people all over the world. I think one huge thing that you cannot do as a musician, busker, YouTube creator, whatever your endeavor is lose faith in it. I'm in a field right now full of people who work in accounting. I wonder how many of them lost faith in their dream and gave up and kind of wish they hadn't. Because that's why I make these videos, because I nearly did that once. I nearly gave up on all this. I nearly lost faith. And that is the only way you fail. If you want to climb the mountain, just walk towards the peak. As long as you're walking, you're making progress. It's if you decide to turn around and go back that it won't work out. Let's pack up and go back to Brighton.
My friends over you. Just maybe get so far. My day's over.
You know, I don't know about my fellow buskers, but this lifestyle, just being a musician in general, it's made me more in tune with my intuition than so many other things that I've tried in my life. Whether that's like just the intuition of what song to play during a busk, and then you follow that intuition, you play that song and it pops, or whether that's a sort of gut feeling of what spot to play that day and you play that spot and it pops, or it doesn't, but you learn like a valuable lesson through it. I feel like those things happen more and more the more I lean into my intuition, the more I lean into my calling, I guess. And in the context of losing faith, what I mean is the journey to what you really want in life, what you're feeling called to do. The grass can seem greener on the other side because it is so much work. So you just lose faith and you give up. And one of the reasons I'm documenting my journey as a musician is because I want to prove that this is possible. You don't need to lose faith. Oh, by the way, did you notice that this whole video has been filmed on a different camera? You might have done, because there's been a few shots that went completely out of focus. Still learning. Let's get to the station. Well, there you go. I cannot begin to express how grateful I am for this life. But it takes faith in yourself, in the magic of music, and in the power of it too. And that's what you've got to hold on to in those moments of doubt. I'm saying that for me as much as I'm saying it for you. I hope you found value in today's video. I love that these videos have become a place where fellow buskers and fellow musicians share their insights and their stories. And you know, although we might come from different approaches, all of us kind of ultimately want and do the same thing. And that's, you know, more than I could ever ask for. It's so cool. So if you did like the video, drop it a like. If you want to be part of this rad community, then hit the subscribe button. Remember that I do have a Patreon page if you want to show your support, or you can drop a super thanks. If you're a true fan, then put the notifications on and let me know if you liked the new camera. I will see you in the next video. They come out every Monday. August Radio Project signing out. Peace, love, happiness.
Live in a van, take a